so welcome to my channel. I'm Patrice. Today I'm coming on as Farmer Patrice. Your girl is back. Feel like it's been forever. What have you been doing? Man, all the things have happened. I've got tons of updates for you on the garden, the chickens, and all the things. But today I am sharing with you a video, starting your garden for real. I'm in North Carolina right now, and as I am filming this, it is snowing. Like, girl, you've lost your mind. What are you planning? Listen, if that's something that's for you, stay tuned. Okay, so what are we planting in January? First thing is, there are a couple of things that actually are frost tolerant. That means they can withstand frost in your area. And so you have to look at, you can go to the Farmer's Almanac to try to figure out what zone you live in, just to make sure that you understand the zoning as far as when your first frost is, how low things get, all of that, because that plays a part into what you'll be able to grow when. It's very important. I'm a preacher too, so I'm not even going to preach that to you, but it's very important that you understand not just the seasons, but what is able to grow under certain conditions. So today, I am growing a couple of different things, but we're starting them inside. So I'm starting everything from seeds. This year, I have not purchased any seeds yet. I think for my spring garden, I probably will purchase seeds, and I'll do a video on that. I have a couple of different people that I'm thinking about doing. I'm just trying to go all out this year. But basically, what I'm doing is starting these seeds inside. Most of the things that I am planting today inside are frost tolerant. However, they have to start inside because many of them, because when they're young, they're very, susceptible to all of the different kinds of things, especially because it's snowing. So I do have another video that I'll do about some of the things that I'm planting directly into the ground. Part of my problem is that this is one of the coldest weeks that we've had in North Carolina, so I'm going to have to wait to do that. And yeah, so let's go into it right now. All right, so here we are. I'm actually using Jiffy Natural and Organic Seed Starting Mix, and I am putting it into my Pro Hex Kit seedling trays. It's the 72 cell. I'll make sure to add the link in my description so you guys can get it from my Amazon store front. Basically, I'm using this starter mix to put it inside of the cells, making sure that it is completely filled. This mix is very airy, and so that's why I like it. This is a container that I use for all of my seeds. It's actually a photo storage container that I got from Amazon. I like this because you can actually see the containers, you can see the seeds and the packets inside. And it makes it easy for storage and just for organization purposes. So we're going to be doing lettuce. As you saw before, we've got all kinds of lettuce and peas and all the things that we're going to be putting into our lovely, lovely seedling trays today. I got this package of herbs from Amazon because I just wanted variety as opposed to buying a lot of little packets. So I'll add that as well. But we're doing Brussels sprouts. There you go. You can see it now. And then onions, cauliflower, and cabbage, broccoli, you name it, I've got it. So I am a planner. This is my list of all the things that I can plant today, things that can be planted indoors, things that need to be planted outdoors, and when. So I just believe that in doing gardening, you need to make sure that you have a plan so that you're not, you can set yourself up for success. So first up are the lettuce. As you can see, those are tiny seeds. So I'm actually going to put those on the table. And this soil is so dense that I am patting it down just a tiny little bit, so that the soil and the seeds can have a cozy fit, and so that it will actually help with germination. And so the instructions actually say that you should water the soil before you put it in the seed trays. I just felt like it would be easier for me to put the soil in there first and then water. Except I ran into an issue where the water was actually sitting on top of the soil, once again, because the soil is so dense. So I'm using this highlighter to try to like create drainage in the soil. As you can see here, the water is just sitting on top. So I'm starting to use my finger, which was cool at first until my fingers were covered in soil. So I feel like I was pulling all the soil out on my fingers. So it was useless. So clearly, Jiffy knows what they're talking about. Follow the instructions. Usually, I actually create a concoction of soil. So this was new. This brand, rather, this mix was new for me. Nevertheless, we're going to get it done. Okay. I don't know what I'm talking about. I was probably talking to Theo about something. All right, so we've got that. Let's get back to the lettuce seeds. So because they're so small, you actually don't have to like put them into the soil. I'm gonna lay them on top. And then I'll come back later and actually move the soil around. And that's just so when I get ready to water them in the end, they don't drown. If you're planting lettuce outside, you literally can just throw it in the ground. I'm sorry, throw it on top of your soil and then just move the soil a bit so the birds don't eat it. But lettuce is really, really good at growing anywhere. So again, I have 3 different kinds of lettuce. There is the little gem, and then I have romaine, and then I also have I'm sorry, the butter crunch butterhead. Yeah. All right, so again, just moving that soil around so that the seeds don't get disturbed when we go back to water. Make sure you're labeling all of your things. I know we all think we have amazing memory. I promise, unless you have 1 or 2 things, you're going to forget, and they all look exactly the same when they're babies, with the exception of a couple of different families. Here I'm planting peas. As you can see, these seeds are way bigger in comparison to lettuce. So I actually had to make holes, and I'm going to drop 2 to 3. Usually with peas, I do probably 2, because you want to believe that every seed that you sow is going to actually bring forth a plant. And if you put too many seeds in the ground or in that one hole, you're going to have to move them earlier. Tons and tons of herbs. Again, I want to make an herb garden within the garden, and I want to make a teapot space. Herb seeds, if you don't know, they are tiny, tiny, tiny. So this is a little harder to tell as far as how many you're putting in there. I usually just try to like rub my fingers, put the seed between my index finger and my thumb, and just rub so that I can try to figure out, around about how many I'm putting in there. So while the herb seeds do vary in size, they are traditionally way tinier compared to other seeds. And so, same technique, rubbing the thumb and the index finger together, labeling everything as soon as those seeds are dropped onto the soil. All right, so here's a closer look so you can see how tiny these things are. I literally almost cannot even see them once they're dropped into the soil, just because the soil does have so many other nutrients inside of it. So again, I'm telling you that technique is important. Your girl needed a break, okay? Playing with these baby seeds. um, Here I am adding more soil. So I'm not necessarily covering up all of the places, but making sure that there are no gaps and that those seedlings are nice and cozy. Here's everything that we've planted today.
Tons and tons of seeds everywhere. As I'm labeling this, just so you know, a rule of thumb is that you actually do not put root vegetables into these kind of containers because you're going to have to move them. And so you see onions and see carrots, but me and my kids were doing an experiment just to see, um, you know, basically prove a point that you're not supposed to do this. So I use something different to try to put water in it. I'm still having the same issue with the water kind of standing to the top. And so I'm lifting those trays up. As you can see, as the seedlings begin to grow their roots, I actually will begin to water the trays and not put the water on top of the soil. So that way the seedlings can actually pull what they need. And so I love that these Pro Hex seed trays actually have the tops. So it creates a lovely environment for the seedlings to grow and for germination to happen quickly. This is actually my lemon bush that needs to be repotted. Oh, she is growing. So I'm actually going to pull very carefully on the stem while I push the bottom of this pot forward. You see that root? Um, that is probably the very last resort of letting you know, like, girl, I need to move. Okay. If you don't, then generally, your plants don't have room to stretch out, and it's not uncommon for them to begin to die. So I'm adding soil on top of that. Again, I would have used my own soil as normal, but since this has so many nutrients and because she was stuck in that other plant for so long, the other pot for so long, I just want to make sure she's good. Same issue, water is kind of standing at the top, but I'm pushing it down and making sure that there's proper drainage.
So there are so many different variations of things that you can do or that you can use. I started all these things in these starter kind of things because I'm actually going to put them out into my raised garden beds outside. You are more than welcome to start with pots inside of your house, whatever the case is, whatever floats your boat. One of the things that I enjoy about being a gardener is there are certain rules and things you need to be aware of, but for the most part, you do what's best for you, what works for you. And so hopefully you've learned a lot. Hopefully you feel encouraged. And most importantly, you feel like if this girl can do it, baby, I can go outside and start me a garden too. So come back soon. I've got tons and tons to share. I can't wait to give you updates on our little seeds that we planted today. I will talk to you soon. Until next time, peace out.